Hey, what's up guys? Speedy Eric here, bringing you some Destiny gameplay with some Crucible, of course, and the loadout I'll be rocking today is with my Titan on the Defender subclass, rocking the Vindictator, Wolfborn Oath, and the Wolfbane to make for a pretty kick-ass House of Wolves loadout. Now, I'm just going to dive right into our subject here. Destiny's gun nerfs is all I'm concerned about right now is because I read on Forbes.com that they're going to be doing some upcoming nerfs on the biggest exotic, just pretty much everything. They're going to be nerfing everything, but the heaviest hitters are going to be from the Galahorn all the way to the Thorn, with Icebreaker and the last word in between. And pretty much how I understand how it's going to go about is that it's going to go about by weapon classes. And what I mean by that is that it's not going to, there's only going to be a select few guns that be specifically nerfed slash buffed. But for the most part, it's going to be like classes, assault rifles, your scout rifles, etc. So pretty much I'm going to go down the weapons classes, read you what the overall buffs, nerfs going to be, and I'm going to start with the assault rifles on a good note here and say that the assault rifles are indeed getting a buff. They're getting a much needed buff to hopefully get them out of the toilet, though exact values, as often in this case in this update, are not made clear. Damage will increase overall, but interestingly, they're getting a 10% buff in PvE. These small PvE specific damage changes are a trend seen throughout this announcement. Now, what I think about that, I'm pretty excited about that because I played a while. I was a day one player, and when I was a day one player, auto rifles used to be the tits McGee. You got an auto rifle, you were taking care of business, you were slaying pretty much. And then they nerfed it probably around, I'd say, when Crota came out. And then it kind of, if they go through with this, I'll be happy to see it back up there again. Now with the pulse rifles, they're getting a small nerf, which seems to be a bit unnecessary given what's about to happen to their top tier PvP class, hand cannons. Again, this is one of those tweaks that doesn't seem necessary and more likely fiddling for fiddling's sake. So pretty much what's happened is it's not going to be too noticeable. It's just kind of a little tweak to the pulse rifles for PvP, I'd assume. So, moving on to scout rifles, seen as the air quotes Goldilocks weapon class right now, getting a tiny 5% versus AI boost. I'm a little worried that Vision and Confluence and the Meta multi-tool might get this class nerfed eventually. Now, pretty much what's going to happen is when you're in just on Earth, Moon, Mars, Venus, whatever, you're going to get a little 5% overall boost against NPC characters, which is pretty nice. I mean, I enjoy using the Vision of Confluence, and I personally don't have the Meta multi-tool, but I do enjoy using the Vision of Confluence, and I like to see what happens after that. And then the hand cannons. Oh man, guys, you guys are not gonna like this. As many feared because of the sins of Thorn, the last word, and to a lesser extent Hawkmoon, hand cannons as a whole are getting nerfed, mostly range and accuracy related. It's a shame because Thorn, the last word, and Hawkmoon are all getting specific nerfs themselves, and it really doesn't seem necessary to penalize the whole class as well, when legendary hand cannons are seldom used as is. So pretty much what I could see happening with the Thorn is the poison won't. I mean, the poison is the whole point behind the Thorn. You get two headshots on a person, you run away, and they're dead. That's pretty much how it works. That's the way the cookie crumbles. But pretty much what I see happening is just they're gonna make up for that because that when you take that into trials or you take that into Crucible, you already have an advantage, a huge advantage at that. So I could see them taking away probably some range, maybe even a little accuracy, probably even a little impact, to be honest, because, I mean, maybe you'll have to land 3, maybe even 4 shots now to get that poison kill. Moving on next to miscellaneous, there's a pretty steep nerfs to specific troublemaking shotgun perks, making their range insane. Not to say a few, but the Fellwinter's Lie I've seen has been pretty. It's like a sniper shotgun. And then there's going to be some slight fusion rifle buffs. There's a final round change for snipers to make perks less broken. And barely any tweaks to rocket launchers. No one cares about machine guns, it seems. So, not too big of buffs rocket launchers, and it looks like there's not going to be any machine gun buffs, nerfs. So that's a good sign. They're doing something right with them. And then, as mentioned, the Thorn, the Last Word, and Hawkmoon are really getting nerfed in various ways. I actually quite like the Thorn nerf, which drastically reduces its poison damage but allows it to stack. This seems like it could keep viable, particularly in PvE, but it will be less irritating in PvP. The Last Word has its range cut, which has been a borderline bug for eons now. Hawkmoon has its various luck-based perks reduced in effectiveness and frequency, though I'm not entirely convinced this is necessary. Now we have some of the buffs here. These are probably the main buffs of the game that are going to be going down in this patch. Surprisingly, a few seldom used exotics are getting outright buffs, including Hard Light, my personal favorite underdog weapon, in parentheses, No Land Beyond, and the hilariously bad Necrochasm. It's great not just to nerf overpowered weapons, but also bring up lesser ones, which is very much needed with these three especially. Hopefully this trend continues. When I started playing Destiny, this is on my own personal experience, I thoroughly enjoyed the Hard Light. It was, again, one of those OP auto rifles at the time. All auto rifles were OP. Did a lot of damage. Rate of fire was pretty good. Impact hit hard. I liked it. Then they took the nerf off, or they did a nerf, and then I didn't use it too much anymore. So I'll like to see what happens with this Hard Light buff. All right, here's the two. Actually, here's the three big ones: the Icebreaker, the Black Hammer, and the Galahorn. So, alright, we're moving into anger-inducing territory. The PvE staple is having an auto-regenerated ammo increase from 1 bullet every 5 seconds to 1 every 8. As my favorite gun, this has made me quite upset, as now all it means is even more sitting around time waiting for ammo to respawn than before. Perhaps this is meant to make me use a different gun, but what it's more likely to do is just make the game more boring during sections that benefit from the Icebreaker. So now what I'm getting from this is that special ammo itself is hard to come by in PvE because it doesn't really drop. Of course, you gotta wait for the little special ammo thing to spawn. It's in my opinion is just as hard sometimes to get heavy ammo as it is special ammo as it is heavy ammo. But so we'll see what happens with this. Hopefully this is all for the better. I mean, a lot of people don't like the nerfs at first. Some people don't even like the buffs at first, but we'll see what happens. Now the Black Hammer. There are nerfs and there are grenades. The Black Hammer has essentially been blown to bits by having its signature ammo generating perk pull bullets from your actual inventory rather than out of thin air. Okay, rather than out of thin air. So pretty much what I'm reading from this is that where'd it go? So it's pretty much it's the primary reason anyone uses the gun, so now it's pretty much pointless. Both these sniper rifles are strong, but I'd argue not game breaking in any way that required drastic nerfs like these. I didn't use a Black Hammer, so I can't really comment on that. Can't use anything personal. And pretty much, alright, here's the granddaddy of them all, the Galahorn. Bungie's planning to nerf Destiny's holy grail, and to that I say, good. One weapon was not meant to dominate a game to such a degree, and this is only a problem among the community because Bungie waited so long to do it. If they'd nerfed it back months ago, it would be a lot better. So, the actual nerf is some unspecified reduction in Wolfpack round damage, and while the community is more than a little mad about this, you have to take a step back and realize that you cannot simply allow a weapon to exist that is 200% better than anything else in the game. I don't know how I feel about this, to be honest, guys. I mean, again, I use the Galahorn. I enjoy the Galahorn. But if Bungie thinks this is good, then let them do it. We'll see what happens. And of course, if we don't like it, we'll raise hell about it. And that brings us to the end of the video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you, guys.